All right, welcome back. Today we cover six high impact current affairs, international, economic, and social. Sharp, exam ready. Let's go. Strait of Hormuz disruption. So, rising tensions in the West Asia have renewed fears of disruption in the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow sea route carries a major share of global oil trade. Now, 20% global oil transit, around 70 million barrels of oil pass daily through this 39-kilometer wide stretch. India's energy vulnerability. India imports nearly 85% of its crude oil, and over half of it passes through this region. A $1 increase in oil prices adds roughly $2 billion to India's import bill annually. Maritime checkpoint risk. Now, choke point is a narrow sea route controlling trade flow. Hormuz is strategically sensitive because even minor military escalation affects shipping insurance and freight cost. Strait of Hormuz, uh, narrow sea passage linking Persian Gulf and Arabian Sea. Maritime checkpoint, strategic narrow trade route vulnerable to disruption. Strategic petroleum reserve, emergency crude stockpiles for supply shocks. CAD, current account deficit, gap between imports and exports of goods and services. Energy security, stable, affordable, and sustainable energy supply. Indian Ocean region, sorry. Strategic maritime region critical for India's trade. Next is Iran's future post Khamenei. Speculation around succession in Iran's top leadership has raised geopolitical concerns. The supreme leader holds ultimate authority in Iran's political system. Now, succession. The supreme leader controls military, judiciary, and foreign policy. Succession is decided by 88-member assembly of experts. Regional power balance in Iran influences conflicts in Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Iraq. Leadership change may reshape regional alignments and nuclear negotiations. India balances ties with Iran, Israel, US, and Gulf states. This reflects India's independent foreign policy approach. Supreme leader, highest authority in Iran's constitutional structure, assembly of experts, clerical body that appoints supreme leader, theocratic republic, system combining religious authority and elected institutions, strategic autonomy, independent foreign policy without bloc alignment, West Asia, geopolitical region critical for India's energy security, and Chabahar port, Indian-backed Iranian port for regional connectivity. Next important topic is the IRGC and Iran's power structure. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps continues to shape Iran's internal politics and regional military strategy. It operates parallel to the regular army. Parallel military structure. IRGC was formed in 1979 to protect the Islamic Revolution. It reports directly to the supreme leader, nor the civilian government. Through the Quds Force, Iran supports groups like Hezbollah and others. This extends Iran's influence without direct conventional war. Now, sanctions implications. The US designated IRGC a terrorist organization in 2019. Sanctions limit Iran's economy and affect global trade dynamics. IRGC, elite military force protecting Iran's revolution. Quds Force, IRGC wing handling external operations. Proxy warfare, indirect conflict via allied non-state actors. US sanctions, economic restrictions to pressure Iran. Mix of conventional and unconventional tactics is the hybrid warfare, and the ballistic missile is long-range guided missile system. Next, very important, India EU FTA data flow issue. India and European Union continue negotiations for a free trade agreement. A key sticking point is cross-border data flow and data localization rules. So India prefers storing sensitive data domestically for security reasons. The EU seeks freer cross-border data movement to support digital trade. GDPR was a DPDP Act. The EU's GDPR sets strict privacy standards since 2018. India's DPDP Act 2023 balances privacy with state and business interest. Digital trade future. Now data is a strategic asset in modern trade. Rules today will shape India's IT exports and digital economy growth. GDPR is EU regulation governing data privacy and protection. DPDP Act 2023 is India's digital personal data protection law. Data localization is requirement to store data within national borders. Cross-border data flow is transfer of data across countries. Digital sovereignty is national control over digital infrastructure, and FTA is agreement reducing trade barriers between partners. Then India's $4 trillion GDP milestone. We have India is approaching the $4 trillion GDP mark amid discussions about inclusive and sustainable growth. The long-term target remains $5 trillion. Then we have, you know, growth trajectory debate. India is among the fastest growing major economies. However, sustaining 7 to 8% growth consistently is the real challenge. Manufacturing share concern. Manufacturing contributes only about 16 to 17% of GDP. Structural transformation requires higher industrial output. Jobless growth challenge. Growth without sufficient employment creates inequality pressures. This links directly to the demographic dividend debates. GDP is the total value of goods and services produced in the country. Structural transformation basically refers from shift from agriculture to industry slash services, manufacturing share, industry's contribution to the total GDP, and services sector, largest contributor to India GDP, PLI schemes, production linked incentive for manufacturing boost, and fiscal deficit, government expenditure exceeding the revenue. Then we have the HPV vaccination expansion. India is expanding HPV vaccination to reduce cervical cancer cases. Cervical cancer remains one of the most common cancers among Indian women. Now, India reports 1.2 lakh new cases annually. Early vaccination significantly reduces long-term mortality. HPV vaccination targets virus types 16 and 18, causing 70% cases. Prevention reduces healthcare cost and supports SDG 3 goals. Public health intervention improves gender equity outcomes. Now, this strengthens the human capital development. HPV is the virus causing cervical and other cancers. Cervical cancer is basically cancer of the cervix, preventable via vaccination. Cervavac is India's indigenous HPV vaccine. Immunization is the process of building immunity via vaccination. Public health is organized efforts to prevent disease, and SDG 3 is goal ensuring healthy lives and well-being. So that's it for today's session. International tensions, economic shifts, and social priorities. Revise smartly. See you tomorrow. Thank you.